What is there to say about a game that has been discussed for 10 years and is still ongoing? I was always drawn in by whimsy and fantasy as a kid, whether it was Sailor Moon or Lord of the Rings. My first RPG was Legend of Lugaia. It was at the time not super popular, not a lot of people played it, but it had 3 characters on the front. On the back, it touted that it was an RPG, and I was like, I like Pokemon. It had unexpected twists and turns, and it had dived into unexpected dynamics and truths that, even as a kid, made me feel like I had, in some way, experienced growing up. The next game that I played as a kid, I was over at my cousin's house, and on the floor in front of his TV is this game, and I turn it over and start looking at the back, and it's touting that it's an RPG. He was like, "Do you want it?" I don't get it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. I took it home, and in my bedroom, fired it up, and I had no idea how much that particular game was going to impact the way I played games for the rest of my life. Final Fantasy VII showed me that games are art. The characters, the artistic backgrounds, the battle systems, and the story, and everything came together in this blockbuster epic. Even just the opening scene, if you've ever played the game, is reminiscent of a blockbuster movie. It feels crazy the first time you watch it. Once you've beat it, it feels like you've been a part of this wild journey. It's literally a game that breaks your heart every time it can, allows you to bond with characters that you didn't feel was even possible in this type of medium, and is still, to this day, one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game of all time. So after beating Final Fantasy VII, I was now a devoted Final Fantasy nut. So I got 8, and I didn't like it. To this day, C9, I know people tout it as like this great story. I just don't have the motivation to play it. I've heard about it. It just doesn't look like something that I have a ton of interest in playing. Maybe I will. Then 10 comes out. Ten is a masterpiece on the PlayStation 2. And I remember my buddy getting it and I coming over, and we watched that opening cutscene. And it was like in the opening gameplay, and it was just so like, how can graphics get better than this? Final Fantasy XI, the first MMO comes out, and we all have dial-up at this point still. So that's not going to happen. Final Fantasy XII comes out, and I'm pumped for it. And I start playing it, and probably halfway through the story, I just stopped playing. I didn't know who my villain was. I didn't know what the purpose of everything was. I didn't really like Vaughn. He's a weak main protagonist. The people that I really liked, though, were Fran and Balthier. And I honestly wish Final Fantasy 12 had just made the story about them. I didn't care about anyone else, Balthier and Fran. My fandom with Final Fantasy is kind of waning at this point because 7 is really the only one that I absolutely love. Final Fantasy 13 gets announced and released. And I go over to my friend's house, and I jump on, sit down on his couch. I rip open a Mountain Dew, of course, and we start playing it, and the intro cutscene happens, and lightning looks so cool. And I just didn't connect with the characters at all, and there was nothing that hooked me or made me feel like I had any interest in it. It just didn't hit. I did play a little bit of 6, and I'm still going through that process now, and I can tell you that 6 is great. You can see where like certain story elements of 7 come into play when they did 7, so it was kind of really cool to kind of pick up on those little things. That's when I saw a advertisement on Steam for ESO. I've never been an MMO player. I've never looked into MMOs. I downloaded it and played it, and the lore and everything was there. That was a lot of fun. The online market board, just every time you opened up the menu, the game was like consume, buy. And it was things that you would buy basically to make the game more playable. It was around this end of ESO era that my brother started bringing up Final Fantasy XIV, and that maybe I should download it because him and my other cousin were playing it together. And I was like, I don't know, Final Fantasy kind of took a turn that, I don't find interesting anymore. And now randomly one night, and I can't tell you exactly what prompted it, but there's just something that came over me, and I was like, I'm going to download 14, and I'm going to try it. Final Fantasy comes up on my monitor, and the prologue song starts playing, and I then hit start. Okay, this was pretty wild. And I create my character. You know what? I want to play Vieira. I want to play Fran. So first thing I notice when I start the game is literally that there is no market board every time you're opening up the menu. It's actually a whole nother website that you need to go to buy stuff, which is mostly glams, dyes, and mounts, aesthetic things. And so I started going through it, and I was surprised to know that your classes also have stories attached to them that do or don't have anything to do with the main story. It's just all world building. So I'm playing a healer. I'm going through the story of how to become a white mage. So I stuck with the game for a little while, and I was starting to notice that the game was a little slow, and I kept doing those really annoying fetch it quests. And yes, they are in there. And it's just, you're like, why are we doing this? But by the end of a Realm Reborn, things that had nothing to do with what you had thought you were doing all kind of come full circle. Huge showdown at the end where like everything gets connected and you're like, oh, okay. And then I continue playing, and then post Realm Reborn pulls the rug out from under you so freaking hard that at that ending like cutscene at the end of the game, I was in. And then I find out that the expansions are not just spin-offs of random things. It literally is the story continuing with its plot. And you end up in Heavensward. Heavensward is one of my favorite expansions. It takes the concept of a Realm Reborn and continues the story of you as your adventurer and your companions, and it dives more into the lore, makes the world way, way larger. The stories, twists, and turns all throughout Heavensward just had me locked in. It was like every time I was logging in, I was literally watching like an episode of my favorite show, and every main quest, I had to just keep going and going. where Heavensward wraps up the story of Ishgard and its people, Stormblood has a lot to do with war and fighting for your homeland. Now with Stormblood, there's a lot that is going on in the story. It kind of can get complicated at points, but it never was so overcomplicated that I couldn't pay attention to what was happening. By the time you make it to post Stormblood, it's really diving into the vile and corrupted nature of your villains. Now, Shadowbringers, we're kind of diving into the depths of the truths of the darkness plaguing the realm. Shadowbringers is good, and I mean really good. It dives into some dark stuff and asks questions that have a lot of nuance and conundrums to them that have to be answered in one way or another. The stakes become high, and then the stakes become even higher, and it ends with you feeling like, oh man, things are going down. And this brings us to my personal favorite expansion, Endwalker. You feel the weight of the world on your shoulders or your character's shoulders, and it really goes for it. It takes you to places that I never thought you would go in a game, and it has the lore to back it up, so it's a wild experience. Everything you were doing in A Realm Reborn, Heavensward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, and parts of Endwalker all come together, and you get answers to these questions that you've been asking for months and months. I cannot tell you how many times I was shocked at revelations in the story and the true tears that I had playing those final moments in the game. Now, I'm not actually really a gamer. I'm very selective with the games that I play, and I need to feel that fantasy and whimsy. 14 was able to make me feel like a kid again. When you beat it, there's almost the feeling of long lost memory, akin to the best summer you've ever had as a teenager, and you open your eyes one morning and you're an adult now. This really leads me into my final segment, And to do this, what we're going to do is go all the way back to Heavensward. I really wanted to try to do an EX fight. I had never done one. Did I understand the difficulty spikes? No. I'm playing and I go to Party Finder. And there was a group that was doing the Coil of Bahamut T7 Savage. So I'm going to try.
All right. In position.
Good.
I have my Renault. I have my Renault.
Thank you.
We progged 6 months. And when we beat that boss, all of us started screaming in our headphones.
Go, Doc.
Guy's dead.
Eyes down.
I need to freeze. I need to
And it's
freeze.
over.
Oh!
Yes! Yes! My God! Oh my God, dude!
Let's go!
We made it happen. We got the clear. We continue raiding to this day, going through all the raids of the expansions, and we've only gone through 2 of them because they are so difficult. And we've gone as far as all of us completing our first ultimate fight.
It's gonna be me next, right? Oh no, it's not.
Yeah, we have it. We have it. Let's fucking go, dude.
We got it. Yeah!
Yeah, let's
Yes!
go, dog.
I got the clear!
I was able to get my big Dark Knight sword, which was a really kind of celebratory night with all of us.
I'm gonna be one of those people walking around with an ultimate weapon now.
Yeah, AFK and Limza with me, dog.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not the best player. I fail at mechanics all the time. I get my party members killed on accident. But I try. The Final Fantasy credits roll, and I realized that I had experienced another masterpiece that unfortunately a lot of people will not play because it's an MMO. So they have preconceived notions. And I was one of those as well. To wrap this up, get lost in its world. Get lost in something completely fantastical. There are adventures big and small, and I think when you come out through the other end of Final Fantasy XIV's story, you'll be pleasantly surprised how much you'll be smiling with fulfillment.
We did it! Yeah, that was awesome, you guys.
Come, girls, let us ride.
We did it! Happy birthday, dog!
It's such a good shot with the sunrise.